Harlequin Historical and Harper Audio present A Dance with Her Forbidden Officer by Lauri Robinson, performed by Amanda Stribling, and Diary of a War Bride by Lauri Robinson, performed by Penny Scott Andrews. A Dance with Her Forbidden Officer. Author note. Thank you for picking up a copy of A Dance with Her Forbidden Officer. The basis of this story came to me while I was in Hawaii and read about the competition of Navy bands called the Battle of the Music, which took place the night of December 6th, 1941. I could clearly see the characters in my mind. Wendy Smith, a Red Cross volunteer nurse, and K.T. McAllister, an underwater welder in the Navy, enjoying a night of music and dancing the evening before the historical attack on Pearl Harbor. It was a night that changed their lives as much as the following morning. I hope you enjoy reading about Wendy and K.T. as they journey to their happily ever after. To Justin, Connie, and Carly, my Hawaii traveling partners, love and thanks for an amazing trip that couldn't have been better. Chapter 1. Don't you just love Saturday nights? Helen Collins asked with excitement in her voice, a gleam in her dark brown eyes, and a smile on her bright red lips as she scanned the occupants filling the dance hall at the Block Arena. Music and a never-ending supply of handsome men. What more could a girl want? Nothing, Lois Adams agreed while fluffing her poofy curls with a hand and setting her gaze on the bar at the far side of the room. Absolutely nothing. And I believe I see an anchor clanker who wants to dance with me. Giggling, Helen said, More than one anchor clanker. Music and gaiety surrounded her, and filled with her own excitement, Wendy Smith smiled as she watched Helen and Lois cross the crowded room, swinging their hips that were highlighted by their pencil skirts, heading straight for a lively group of sailors in their white uniforms and blue neck scarves. She loved Saturday nights, too. Every nurse did. So did every armed services man stationed in Hawaii. Besides the Navy, there were Army Air Force, Marines, and Coast Guard all stationed on the island. It was amazing seeing so many men walking around in their uniforms everywhere she went. There were times when she pinched herself, just to make sure she really was in paradise and not back on the Nebraska plains, where this time of year a person had to be bundled from head to toe because the wind and cold had the ability to leave exposed skin frostbitten. Her mother would be so happy to know she was here. The sun was always shining on the island, and even when it rained, it was over within a short time, and the sun was back again, dried things out like it had never happened. In the 4 months that she'd been here, she'd rarely needed a sweater and never a coat. Answering the Red Cross's advertisement for nurses' aides had been the best thing she'd ever done. After completing her 2 months of training in California, she'd accepted an assignment in Hawaii. The sandy beaches, blue ocean, colorful birds and flowers, lush green landscape was indeed a paradise. As a young girl, she'd been told there was more to life than living on the Nebraska Panhandle, and had promised her mother that as soon as she was old enough, she'd leave. That had happened on her 21st birthday. That's the minimum age the Red Cross required of recruits, between the ages of 21 and 40 and unmarried. She figured if the government was willing to pay her while she was seeing more of the world, she'd gladly repay them by giving every man, woman, and child who needed nursing the best care possible. Having the time of her life while doing that was an added bonus. Checking that the red belt was even around the waistline of her white and red polka dot dress, with a full skirt because she found pencil skirts too confining to dance in, Wendy walked toward the dance floor. That's where she'd be spending the entire evening, dancing until her feet hurt inside her white slingback shoes, and she was so exhausted that she'd fall into bed hours from now, tired and happy. That may not happen until sunrise. It so happened that her day off this week fell on Sunday. Tomorrow. There would be no need to be up and ready to relieve the night shift at the hospital by 8 in the morning. Facility 161, as the arena was known on base, was a huge octagon building that hosted, amongst other things, two
Sample complete. Ready to continue?